It's English time! Hi! Welcome to my vlog. For today's lesson, we will try to discuss about modals. This lesson can actually be found sa module ng grade 9 English, Quarter 1, Week 1-2. Kaya naman sa mga grade 9 students dyan na nahihirapan sa kanilang module, I hope na ang video na ito ay makatulong sa inyo. Tune in, don't tune out. At huwag kalimutang mag-subscribe and click the bell button below at isama mo na rin ang all para naman every time na nag-upload ako ng bagong video ay manonotify ka kaagad. Modals are commonly known as auxiliary verbs or helping verbs because they cannot stand alone in the sentence. Meaning to say, dapat pag ginamit mo siya sa isang pangungusap or sentence, ay may kasama siyang main verb. For example, I can speak English. So, ang main verb sa sentence is speak, while ang modal or auxiliary verb or helping verb na ginamit sa sentence ay can, which expresses ability. Another example, could you pass the glass of water, please? So, dito naman, ang main verb is pass, while the helping verb is could. So, in other words, ang modals, ito ang tumutulong sa main verb para mas lalong maging malinaw ang mensaheng nais ipahiwatig ng nagsasalita. Modals are used to indicate modalities such as likelihood, ability, permission, request, capacity, suggestions, order, prohibition, obligation, and advice. Can, may, and could are used to express permission. Either you want to give or to ask permission to the person that you're talking to. So here's a module. Can is used for informal conversation. For example, can I speak to Joanna, please? So ang can is ginagamit if you want to ask for permission doon sa taong kilala mo, either kakilala mo or kaibigan mo. While ang could naman is used for more formal and polite conversation. So, could I speak to Joanna, please? Ang could is ginagamit kapag ang taong kausap mo mas matanda kaysa sa'yo, that's why it's more formal and polite. While ang may is the most formal. For example, may I speak to Joanna Cruz, please? So, ito naman, maaaring ang taong kausap mo ay hindi mo kilala. That's why you have to use may. Modals are also used to express prohibitions, such as can't and mustn't. We use can't or mustn't or must not if we want to show that something is prohibited or bawal gawin or not allowed. Can't tells us that something is against the rules. Ang can't ay ginagamit kapag may batas or rules na sinusunod such as, you can't stay here, this is a restricted area. You can't make noise in the library. You can't smoke in the office. Mustn't or must not is usually used when the obligation comes from the person who is speaking, kapag ang pagbabawal ay nanggagaling doon sa taong nagsasalita. For example, you mustn't use a cell phone. You mustn't write with pencil. You mustn't play with music. You just have to remember that if it is a prohibition, meaning to say it's not okay to do it. Modals such as must and have to, should, and are used to express obligations. So there are actually two types of modals used for expressing obligations. Those that primarily express firm obligation or necessity, yun yung mga bagay na kailangan mo talagang gawin. Those that express a recommendation or moral obligation. Firm obligation or necessity, for example, is, I am not feeling well, I must go to the doctor. To travel, you have to carry a passport. So, kailangan mo talagang gawin. Moral obligation is described as the right or correct thing to do. For example, our friend is unwell. We should visit him. So this is an example of a moral obligation. And the modal that we use in the sentence is should. While recommendations naman may be seen as an advice or suggestions. For example, you ought to prepare your bags the night before your flight. So an important thing to remember is that an obligation is something that you really have to do because it's necessary. As a recap of our lesson for today, modals are words that express or are verbs that express permission, obligation, and prohibition. So ang modals, ito ang nagsiset ng mode ng ating pagsasalita para mas malinaw na maipapahayag ang intensyon or ang mensahe na nais mong ipahiwatig sa iyong kausap. Hindi siya pwedeng gamitin ng siya lang, kailangan ay may kasama siyang main verb sa isang pangungusap. So, ang modals ay mahalaga sapagkat kung wala ito ay maaaring ma-misinterpret ka ng taong kausap mo. Halimbawa, kung ang intensyon mo sa kanya ay mag-request at hindi mo alam ang tamang paggamit ng modals, maaaring ang dating sa kanya ay parang inuutusan, lead to misunderstandings at sometimes magkakos ng conflict. That's why nararapat or importante na alam mo kung ano ang tamang gamit ng modals. So that's all for today. Thank you so much for watching and I hope na nakatulong ang video na to sa inyo, lalo na sa mga estudyante dyan. And please consider subscribing to my YouTube channel and click the bell button below. Bye!